1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Banjo Land, Mike Heading here. Today we're going to break down the classic song Lonesome Road Blues, also called Going Down the Road Feeling Bad. I just did it in the key of G, but you could easily add your capo and play it wherever. I've got two kind of intermediate level breaks for this one. The first one's going to stay pretty close to the melody. The second one's going to stray a little bit further from the melody, put in some licks. And I'm going to do something a little bit different for this lesson. I'm going to spend a little less time on the note for note breakdown and a little bit more time on kind of conceptual things of why I chose particular rolls. This is an intermediate lesson, so I'm going to move a little faster through the note for note breakdown. I'll still break down the tricky parts. But again, I'm going to talk a little bit more conceptually, a little more finer details. You know, how do you take your break from playing the notes to take it to the next level, to add some more music? I'm going to, again, talk some finer details, a little bit more about transitioning and playing the song faster as well. So I'm going to break it all down, and then I'm going to do a pretty extensive backup section on this song of how I'd play down the neck, rolling back up, and some up the neck movable stuff you can do. All right, here's Lonesome Road Blues in the key of G. All right, let's start breaking down this lesson to Lonesome Road Blues in the key of G. Let me play the first 5 measures, and then we'll start breaking it down. Here we go. Let's do that a few times. A little slower. Okay, so we're going to start with our classic banjo pickup. So we're going to do 3 pinches on beats 2, 3, and 4. And we're going to walk up on the second string open, and then first fret on the second string, and then second fret on the second string. I'm doing that all with my first finger. So we're just doing 1. So fairly easy, you've probably seen this in the past. And then we're going to do a 2-3 hammer on the second string with our thumb of our right hand. And then we're going to go up and do 2 forward rolls, 5, 2, 1 twice. And then we're going to add our first finger up on the second fret of the first string. This is a good one to practice, so let's do that a few times. So you've probably seen that roll pattern before, and we're leading it with our thumb to give it a little extra power. And what I would also recommend kind of for intermediate players is accenting that second fret on the first string a little bit. That's one of the melody notes, so right there, we're going to give that a little accent. The other thing that you could do is, if you want a little variation, is you could, instead of doing thumb middle at the beginning, you could pinch index and middle, keep that pinch going so it would sound like this. And then do the 2 forward rolls. So it would sound like this. One more time. Kind of a cool little variation. Instead of doing thumb middle, you're just continuing that pinch. So that's one option if you want a little variation on that opening lead line. So the other thing I'd recommend there is keeping all those notes the same volume, except for that second fret on the first string that we talked about accenting. That'll help you get what we call roll separation, where you're really clearly hearing all the notes. You know, really try and get all those notes the same volume. It's really easy to be too powerful with your thumb, and you kind of lose those other notes in the mix. And then sometimes when you speed up the roll, it kind of sounds sloppy. So make sure you keep all those notes the same volume at first. That'll help you get that roll separation. Okay, one more time. Here's measures 1 and 2. 1. And then for measure 3, we're going to take our first finger off, keep that forward roll going. So 5, 2, 1 again, and then back to the 5th string. And then we're going to take our left hand off, do a backwards roll, and then a 3-2 pull off on the 3rd string. So that sounds like this. And you got to get your left hand, practice getting your left hand, get enough clearance there that you can get that pull off to sound good. So let's do that a few times. Really get some power out of that pull off too. Kind of with Scruggs style banjo, sometimes the devil's in the details. So really take that extra time to get that pull off really powerful. Listen to players like Terry Bauckham or J.D. Crowe. They get a ton of power out of those pull offs. That's a big part of the sound. So don't be afraid to pull on the string a little bit. Okay, let's play 2 and 3 together. Okay, let's do measures 2 and 3 one more time. You can even loop that. So this is also a good one to work on your speed. So after we do that measure 3, you're going to quick slide your left hand down and then slide back up on 2 to 4 on the 3rd string while doing an alternating thumb roll. And then first finger on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, do another alternating thumb roll. So that sounds like this. Get power out of that pull off, same way we were doing in measure 3. So pull that off quickly and then slide back up. And then we're going to hit the open 3rd string for the beginning of measure 5. So 3 and 4 sound like this. And then we're going to do our classic Scruggs fill lick for measure 5. And then right here we're going to do the 3rd fret instead of the 2nd fret. You've probably seen that a lot with the 2nd fret. Like that. But we're going to do the 3rd fret because it gives it a G7, which is going to lead into our C chord. That's a cool little thing to think about there is, notice how we made that subtle variation from 2 to 3 on the 4th string, which now gives it a 7th chord that's going to lead into measure 6, which is a C. So rather than playing that 2nd fret, we just modified it to play the 3rd fret. So it sounds like this. You know, that's a great one to loop. A couple variations you could do on that one, since you'll see this lick all the time. It's great to have a bunch of variations. One thing you could do is do a quarter note at the beginning. So that's a very easy variation. The other one we'll do in this song is do a quarter note at the end. So you've got... and lastly, one more is take out the middle finger during that 2 to 3 slide. That's a very J.D. Crowe kind of style way to create a variation on this lick, so it would sound like this. So I'm just letting that slide ring out on its own rather than covering it up with a middle finger. That's more of a Scruggs way to do it. Kind of a J.D. Crowe way would be, you're letting that slide ring out on its own, so you get it kind of accents that slide a little bit more. The other thing it does is it creates a cool syncopation with your right hand. Hear that? Rather than... So you get that cool syncopation, which is really cool. So now you've got 3 ways to play that simple lick. We're going to use that lick a bunch of times. You've used it probably before in tons of other songs. So again, it's great to have variations on that lick. Okay, let's play measures 1 through 5 one more time. Here we go. 1. A little faster. One more time. Now for measure 6, you take your 2nd finger right there that's on that 3rd fret. We're going to slide it down to the 2nd fret, and we're going to go into a C chord. So put your 1st finger down on the 1st fret, even though you don't see it in the tab. That'll give you the full C chord. And we're going to do 2 forward rolls, 4-3-1, and then 5-3-1. And then 2 more notes, thumb, middle, 5-1. Those are my strings. So we're using a forward roll here to maintain the drive and keep kind of the energy going in the song. So it's another kind of conceptual thing to think about. I'll almost always use the forward roll when I want to create drive in a song. So I want to, I've kind of played the opening melody line. Now where I'm on my C chord, I want to keep the energy level up. So I'm going to keep rolling forward here. So I'm going. Let's play 5 and 6 together. Speed that up a little bit. That's a good one to practice your speed on.